Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So, yeah, if you're like me, you've either been watching the trial all day and you want to talk about it with Jen and I, or maybe you haven't been watching it and you want to hear what you've missed. So I'm excited to get into it. It was a long day and we have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to bring Jen up in just a second. I just want to say hello to you guys really quick. Hey, Nadine. Hey, Natasha, P. Lola's mom, Mayla's mom, A Million Sparkles, Adrian, Sexy Wild Thing, McLovin, freaking Babyface Claws, Aries. Good to see you guys. Hey, Fragile Like a Bomb, Bieber. Good to see you, Thomas, Riley. Thank you guys for being here. Happy Friday. My God, it's been a long week. Hey, Cool Gamer, Shmita, Queen Bella, good to see you. Sorry, I think that someone is walking in behind me. So hold on. Let me just bring Jen up and we will get started. Hello?
Hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Just happy it's the weekend.
For real. I hear
Ready
you, babe.
for the
I
weekend.
hear you. Yes.
Hey, Shelly.
Although we're going to be busy this weekend.
I know, but I don't have to get up at 7.
That's true. That's true. Hey, you guys, before I forget, Nadine made a scent that is inspired by your girl, Bindi. It's called Just Like Heaven. And I am super, super excited. So when you guys go over to Nays and order it.
Ooh, what's it smell like?
Pineapple and hold on. She told me what's the other one.
Oh, I love pineapple.
Me too. Green apple and pineapple.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna try that one. I cannot wait. I will love that. And you do love your apple too.
I do.
Mayla's mom. No, I got a good little laugh out of you guys in the comments. You and Adrian. Adrian said, "Where's your hot mess?" Hello, Music City mom, and hello, Victoria.
Hey, Victoria.
Hope you're having the best Friday ever. Hey, nothing but a thing. So, Jen, were you watching all day?
Okay. I'm having a very difficult time keeping up because I'm watching Karen and I'm watching Chad at the same time.
Right.
And but I did watch, not all day. And I feel awful about that. I don't know. I've got to figure out like time management or something. There's got to be some way I can juggle both of these because it's too damn much.
It is. Well, I didn't watch any Daybell today, but I'll fill you in. I think that I can fill you in at least a little bit, because I also don't know the case before this. But it was a very stressful day, and I'll tell you this: it was a long day. There were moments of tension and stuff, but it's not just you. I'm having a hard time following the prosecutor, and it's not just us, because even Melanie Little, who I was watching some today on her channel, she was having to rewind it. She's like, wait, what? She can't follow what he's even getting at, where he's going, what his questions are related to. It's kind of hard to follow him anyways. So let me see here. I'm going to start and show you. Did you see? Let me know. Okay, we'll just start with the first witness, which I'm going to pull just Emily Baker's thing on the screen just because I have it up. I was grabbing a picture of this girl.
Oh, yes. I watched her. The friend, not friend. Yeah.
Yes. Katie McLaughlin, the firefighter for Canton. Now, okay. So Katie McLaughlin, I think she testified some on the, did we miss court yesterday? The last day that we had court there. But this was the rest of it. And it was interesting because they got hung up. So, you know, Caitlin Albert, who is the daughter of the people who own the home where John was found. The defense was making a point that this young lady, Katie McLaughlin, and I say young lady, she just graduated in 2014. She's only like 27 years old. She's young, but
Yeah,
she is an acquaintance of Caitlin Albert. And she was trying, you know, they were basically, which Jen, I'm sorry, this judge really upset me with this because I've seen in so many other cases, even civil cases, where if evidence wasn't brought in, if it's used for the purposes of impeachment, it can be brought, like say the evidence wasn't given to the DA prior to the trial, but if it's used for the purposes of impeachment, usually like for the purposes of proving somebody's telling a lie, usually they will let it in, but this judge wasn't having it, you know, that.
Yeah, I know everybody well, a lot of people online call her Aunt Bev, okay? But I'm just going to call her Judge Bev because no, she's not, none of my aunts would act like this. I'm telling you that right now. I can't handle the sighing into the microphone like, girl, could you mute, please? I mean, it's just proper panel etiquette. You don't know how to, you know, come on. She started to get a little bit better with it, but then it's, yeah, I can't. She, in my opinion, has made several questionable rulings. And
I agree.
Like
word AMAC.
The defense will get out a question and then she'll be like, I need to see you at sidebar. So they'll go over there and do a sidebar.
Yep.
And then the defense will get out 2 syllables. I need to see you at sidebar. It's
I know.
It's very disjointing. Now, listen, I am fully aware that lawyers time out their objections. First of all, you've got prior. I'm looking at you. You've got to make your objection in a timely fashion because otherwise the question is out and the witness has answered and you're just like, object, you know, and the judge is like, it's out. What do you want me to do? But sometimes if it's egregious enough, they'll sustain it and the jury is to disregard it. But the other part of objecting and timing out the objections is, remember when Johnny Depp was on trial and what is her name? It's driving me crazy now. His attorney, she was the fastest objectioner in the whole wide world. And she would do it in such a way that,
was it Camilla?
Yeah, Camilla. She would do it, Camille. Camille. She would do it in a way that was right because she was objecting correctly. But her timing of it, is it Camilla or Camille? I can't remember, but yes, her. She would do it in such a way that it throws off the rhythm of the question that the opposing counsel is getting into. What's happening in this situation is not that.
Yeah, I know. It seems very unfair. It happened multiple times today, even moments where she allows the picture of his injury on his arm to get in, which I'll show. We'll get to that in a little bit. But and then she like changes her mind and she pulls it down really fast and asks for a sidebar again. And it's just, she's frustrating.
It's quite problematic. You cannot put toothpaste back in the tube. You just can't.
Yeah, no. Hey, Maria. Hey, Debbie Doodles and everybody coming in. Sparkles. Okay, so today during Katie's testimony about her association with Caitlin Albert, and if you remember, oh my gosh, if you remember, sorry, I always put my phone on silent and I did not, or I try to. But okay, if you remember, there was another firefighter who previously testified that this case was, you know, common talk at the they talked about it all the time at the fire.
Yes.
Okay, so today he was grilling her about if they ever talked about it. And of course she probably hasn't seen that person's testimony. Now, she does admit that they do talk about it, but she says not when she's around. She's never part of those conversations. And he's like, did you ever have a conversation with Caitlin or your guys' friends that you responded to a call at Caitlin's parents' house of a dying police officer? And I have to agree that he makes a point there. For me, if I was even not like best friends, but friends with a person, and I respond to a call at their house where someone's dead in their yard, I think that I probably would talk to them about it, or if I saw them, mention it to them or something. I don't know. That's just where I come from. But anyways, I want to show you this clip after he's doing this grilling about this, having conversations at the firehouse and with Caitlin. He says, would you agree this case is discussed daily? And she says, yeah, it does get brought up, but I'm not a part of that. Now, let me show you Karen Reed in those moments. So let me go back over here. I clipped this because here she is while she's being grilled, Katie McLaughlin. Now, I know a lot of people are major, so they're almost like a fan base for Karen Reed. I don't feel that way at all. I mean, I think she's a beautiful looking woman and everything, and so was John, and that's all. But people really, she's almost like gotten this fan base or something. But this moment here was just, I had to clip it. So watch her face. Hold on. Let me unmute it.
Do you know any of Caitlin's siblings?
No.
You don't know Brian Albert Jr.?
No.
Do you know any of her extended family that might be a little closer in age to you, like Colin Albert?
No.
You ever met any of them?
Not that I recall.
Not that you recall, or no?
I don't remember meeting any of them.
Your Honor, that's all I have right now.
All right.
Just your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any of
She's like,
Caitlin's siblings?
No.
You don't know Brian Albert Jr.?
No.
Do you know any of her extended family that might be a little closer in age to you, like Colin Albert?
No.
You ever met any of them?
Not that I recall.
Not that you recall, or no?
I don't remember meeting
Oh,
any
she
of them.
squinted.
Now, I gotta say, just for watching somebody's body language, and and it's not necessarily evidence, but it's something that I would be paying attention to as a jury, because I would want to see how are they reacting to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And she is paying very close attention, and she seems, based on her body language, it seems she was like, okay, sure. She gave her the eye,
Yeah, she did. She did give her this. But let me say this, Karen, you got to watch that, because things that you do can be misinterpreted. And you might have been squinting for something that is completely unrelated to what was actually coming out of the witness's mouth, but the jury sees it and they can read it incorrectly. You got to control. I see that you're controlling the eyebrow area with Botox. That's Botox up there, by the way. That smooth ass forehead where even though she's making a face, nothing moves. That's Botox. And I'm not judging.
I want some.
I would do Botox too, hell. Good for you, girl. Because I would like for people to not be able to read my face at all.
I would like for when I do this, not to have the lines.
Me
and
too.
I get a horrible, I must walk around like this all the time.
I don't see any lines, but my bottom line is you got to be careful with the faces that you make, even unintentionally, because it can come off bad.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. Okay, Teacup Kraken says, how does this witness barely remember someone she graduated with and hung out with a minimum of 10 times? She's only 27. Okay, I'll tell you how. I feel like an asshole when I say stuff like this, but I will. When I was back in Texas, there would be times when I would be out. I would specifically go back to where my hometown to hang out with old friends, and other friends would be there and they would remember me and I wouldn't remember them. And it wasn't because I was so popular. It's because I smoked a lot of weed. So I don't remember a lot of things for a lot of people. So it's possible.
From high school, you don't remember friends from high school, but are you not remembering friends you're going out on beach trips with and stuff like that?
I mean, I remember the friends that I've hung out with since we're no longer in high school, sure. But
Right.
as far as some people that remember me, but I don't remember them, and it's not even intentional. Once we start talking, then I'll start to remember stuff, but it's, it's the multi, I can't help it. And I'm 47, so,
Oh, thanks, Claus. Shmita said, I smoke a lot and I remember all the things. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't.
smoke a lot and don't remember, but I definitely would remember. And there was a part where, they're asking her about the bathing suit she was wearing. And does she remember? I would know what at least time period a picture was from based on the clothes that I had on.
Yes, I would as well. Yes, I would as well.
That was kind of odd to me. Okay, so then what about this? Well, hold on. First, during her testimony at the end, after the cross and the redirect, the judge literally butts in and goes, all right, come on, we got to wrap things up. I have never seen a judge do that.
Neither have I. Now, the other trial that's airing at pretty much the exact same time as Karen Reed is Daybell. And when Judge Boyce is ready to talk about scheduling, he will give whoever's at the podium, they'll ask a question, the witness will give the answer, and as soon as the witness is finished with the answer, he'll wait for an appropriate break, and then he'll say, may I see counsel at sidebar?
Yeah. Well, most times, even if I think back to Tisha's or other trials that I've watched, most times it seems like the judge tries to give them the time that they need so they won't have to revisit or come back. You know what I mean? They're not kind of rushing them along during their questioning. All right, come on now, that's enough.
Yeah. Look at Dietz. Come on. The high school isn't huge. They average 950 students in 9th through 12th grade. If they were in the same class, she remembers her. My graduating class was much bigger than that. Minus one because I ain't graduate with my class. I got that good enough diploma, but it was big. And, so if their class, I don't know. I'm just trying to, it does seem like she did not want to, she kind of Mariah Carey'd her. Let's be honest. She was like, I don't know her.
Yeah, she did.
Which kind of it did ring a little false. I'm not going to lie. It did ring a little false. Which then gives you pause moving forward, because these are the people that responded and you're relying on their testimony as to what happened, what was said, what they saw. And if they can't be straight with the jury about who they know and don't know, then it's a problem. One time I have a firefighter friend and I had a seizure one time, and he worked at the station that would have been dispatched to the house. And he wasn't on duty that day, but I asked him what would happen. And he said, well, I wouldn't be able to go because I know you, but I would want a full report from you about how my firefighters treated you. And by the way, how did they? And, but he would not have treated
They all
me.
know each other. They all know each other. Even one of the guys who testified today, lived across the street from John and looked up to him. So
there's a lot of overlap. It's not that big of a town. They all kind of know each other. So why not just admit that, I know that girl. We weren't like besties or anything. We didn't have slumber parties and braid each other's hair or anything, but I knew her. She's cool. Yeah. Why not? It's a problem with the not admitting. That's where it was for me.
Well, and then she also says that her statement, how did they say it? Evolved. Okay. And she admits that, and it changed over time. Well, then during the cross, he's like, so has your statement changed? No, I feel like it's been consistent. And he's like, I'm literally thinking you just admitted 20 minutes ago it evolved. I don't know. It did change. There were other things that you remembered or whatever, which is probably common, that little things will come to you, but it did evolve.
That's how okay. So the last city that I lived in Texas it's big now. It wasn't big then. It's grown a lot since I first moved there, but all of the firefighters and the cops know each other out there. It's just what they work together. It's one of those things. So it's not like, I feel like, I don't get what the big deal is just admitting that you knew her. I don't understand why that's a bad thing. You weren't there to treat anybody. You weren't there to treat anybody in her, like in her family or anything. You were there to treat somebody completely different. So I don't get the big fucking deal. I would have just admitted it.
Well, if their school is that big, that's like 3 times the size of my graduating class where I grew up, and all the cops know each other. Everyone knows each other. It's very similar to this. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Then let me see what I got next. But that evil eye she gave her, man, that was okay. Is this Karen's dad? I mean, does anybody know? Oh, I do want to say, so remember what I said about, the judge is not allowing evidence to use for impeachment like we usually see. And so the picture was not allowed in. Now, I did see that Tracy posted it on her community tab, but I don't think that I'm going to consider that into my thoughts today because the jury didn't see it.
Right.
So.
Well, can we just see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have it?
Yeah.
I just want to see it because such a big deal was made that now I need to see it. And I'm not going to consider it.
Okay. Yeah. Let me grab it. Hold on. It's
but
right here.
now I'm nosy. Please. I'm sorry. That came out a little abrupt.
Can we just? So here it is. Caitlin Albert and one of the Canton Fire known each other for 10 years plus, as shown here. Prior to seeing these, she claims she went to school with someone with that name. Defense brings these out, and she ends up saying, yes, they've hung out, drank, posed for pics, etc. Judge says the jury won't see this picture, which, so here's the picture. I wish I could zoom out a little bit because on the phone you can see it a little more. The girl with the beer is like doing a hang 10 type surfer sign with her hand, and the girl that testified is kind of like hugging her.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that her arm, I can see it in this picture, the way you have it. I can see that her arm is, or her hand is on her shoulder. I mean, they're close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, just say you knew her. I don't get the big deal. I really don't. The thing is it makes the way that she's working to deny is that makes it look worse. It's better just to say, yeah, I know her. We kicked it a few times.
Yeah, I agree. Now I knew that was Karen's dad. He looks so much like her. Like I just saw it, like when the camera panned, and I was like, I'm going to save that and ask people, like, is this her dad? Okay. But anyways, let me see. I put notes here. I put the judge with the mad face. The photographs were for impeachment purposes. And then, like I already commented. Okay. So next we have Gregory Woodbury, the lieutenant paramedic for Canton Fire Department. This guy here, which this is where, we hear more about these comments. Is he dead? Is he dead? I wrote the defense wants to focus on what he heard straight from Karen's mouth. Now, he goes on to say she seemed very grief-stricken, hysterical even. She was crying about not being able to take care of the kids and things like that. But he also makes a comment, which it almost felt intentional. He says, quote, I didn't see any actual tears, unquote, the guy on the stand. Uh-oh. Am I breaking up?
No, you're fine.
Okay. So, I'm curious. What do you think about these comments? Is he dead? Is he dead? Like, I don't know why there's so much focus on that. It doesn't really make a difference for me either way.
I mean, they seem to me to be like normal questions. If God forbid, knock on wood, if that were my husband, okay, and I would ask the same, and I saw them working on him the way that they were working on John O'Keefe, I would probably I would ask the same questions. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to make it? Is he dead? I would ask those questions. Now, would I be hysterical? Honestly, I don't know, because I am the type of person that when there is a serious situation happening, like when little mini Bendy had a febrile seizure, I was so incredibly calm all the way through the ambulance ride, in the hospital, even when she stopped breathing. because I knew they needed me to be able to tell them what happened, what information and all that. I had to be her spokesperson. She couldn't
Right.
talk.
Well,
So
I mean,
but I don't know. I don't know if it were my husband, I don't know how I don't know.
but
I don't
even
think
no
there's
matter
anything wrong.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no matter how you would react or whatever, let's say, no matter what, whether you, I don't know, I don't feel like the statements have much to say about whether she did this or not. I think, though,
Yeah.
other Melanie Little, who I took the screenshot from, I was watching all over the place. I was watching in Lynn's today too, and Disorder in the Court, a few different places. But Melanie was like, those seem like, you're at how
They
you would
seem
react.
reasonable. Yeah, they seem reasonable and normal. I can't understand the big deal. And especially with the I hit him part.
Now, yeah, that's a different one though.
But
Don't you think a little bit that is he dead versus I hit him? Right.
Yes, but here's my thing. This is where I'm having a struggle with the I hit him. Okay. She allegedly was heard by no less than 5 people admitting that she hit him. And not one of those 5 people thought, maybe I better go over and ask some follow-up questions. That's where I'm having an issue with whether that happened or not.
Well, there has been testimony that they heard her say that, but then there's been other testimony that makes you think they were questioning if they heard her say that. I don't know. It's been a little confusing. Is he dead? Is he dead? Or I can't. What am I going to do with these kids? Or she was calling him her husband. Things like that don't really make a difference for me either way. But that I hit him, or did I hit him? I think that's going to come in a minute.
Yeah, no, that does. Yeah, it's a horse of a different color. Completely agree there. My point is that it's, even if she did say it, we talked about this last night, even if she did say it, and then, but I feel like I can't even say it like this, because even if she did say it, it feels like there should be follow-ups to that. And if she says she hit him, but her story doesn't match the evidence, then you see what I'm saying? Then it doesn't actually make any sense. And I don't understand why nobody asked any follow-up questions.
Yeah.
See, that's my problem with the whole, I mean, they're not the same, but my point is that it's weird that the way both of the situations were handled. They're hype about they make a huge deal about her asking if he's dead. But her running around saying I hit him gets no reaction from them. That's what's weird to me. I guess I should put it like that. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's all kind of bizarre, and it's hard for me to grasp like the reality of the situation, whether it would, like you got people in the chat are saying maybe it was a question, Deet said it was put in the reports later, which I got to keep that out because I'm only going on what we've heard, but that's still interesting. Okay. Now this next one, I took off the screen for a second to warn you guys, it's going to be a picture of his injury. I know that pictures have been going around for a long time. I guess like people have seen them, right? I haven't seen anything until today.
Me neither. I didn't look.
Okay. Well, here, this is his arm. This was put up on the screen. She said she allowed it in. It was put up on the screen, and then, like, she very quickly took it down. And the judge, this was another time I was like, what are you doing, lady? Like, she wasn't going to allow it or something. I'm not sure. First, she said the jury could consider it. Then it was like she didn't. I don't know exactly how that ended up. Like, it was hard for me to understand. But Checkmate Humanity says, actually, one witness said he did follow up and she just kept repeating herself. Thank you, Lynn. I didn't hear that. Well, I might have, but it's so much around and around. It's hard to grasp it. We've heard it in trial. That's why the defense keeps asking them why it wasn't in their initial report or the first time they talked with Prep. Okay, that's what he's talking about with it evolving.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Now that part I knew.
Okay, I didn't see. I'm saying it's hard to grasp everything. Like
it is.
I get why Melanie kept having to rewind it, which was driving me crazy. And I was trying to skip forward, probably causing me to miss little moments. But you have to almost have to watch it again. But okay, to talk about the injury now, let's switch to the arm.
Okay. Okay.
If you see this, what are your thoughts as far as, does this look like this could have happened by it being hit by a car to you? Hey, Vanessa.
No, because I feel like the injuries would be more to the back of the arm, not to the side of the arm. You know, if you fall, you land and you skid. You know what I'm saying? So the injuries, I would think if you get the road rash and the scrapes, they would be to the back of the arm. So they would actually have to flip him over to be able to see this. This, I'm going to say what it looks like to me. To me, it looks like defensive wounds. It looks like somebody who put their arm in front of them to protect themselves. That's what it looks like to me.
I agree. The only way, like I've seen people get cut on glass from a windshield, but it looks similar to this, but not like this in this pattern. But that's the only time I don't know. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't at all. I think I'm with you 100%. It looks like defensive wounds. It does look like an animal or something like that. I'm really upset that they got rid of that dog after the grand jury questioning. And we learned in the trial, the Roberts got rid of their German Shepherd, Chloe, I think her name was, after the grand jury, after they testified there. So now they couldn't even compare her teeth or claws or anything, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to do a poll and see what other people think.
Yeah, it just doesn't, to me, just looking at it, it doesn't look to me like an injury that you would expect to see from being hit by a vehicle. And, you know, I would expect that the injury, the road rash would be, you know,
Yes.
if, you know, there'd be road rash, and that's not road rash. That's something else. And I'm not exactly sure what that is or what caused that. You know, I don't know if I would go as far as to say it's a dog, because when dogs bite, they bite down and then they shake. And so there's
Yeah, but they're claws too.
yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. It's not you know, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look like what you would. So what I'm saying is I'm not so sure I can say that if I have to choose, if there's only two options and it's either a dog bite or being hit by a car, I'm going to say neither, because I'm not exactly, for me, all I can say for sure is it doesn't look like something you would get from road rash, even in gravel.
I'll Google dog bites. Let's just take a look. Just, I mean, not that the jury can do this, but still, just to see. This one here looks almost similar, but
which one, babe?
The very first one on the left, you see like the marks, but these don't at all. But let me keep looking for a second.
Well, I feel like we need to compare with an actual, like maybe Google German Shepherd.
Okay. Hold on. Go back to that.
ATS said Google didn't help her.
German Shepherd dog bites. Share this image instead. Oh,
they want you to buy stuff.
Yeah, dog treats, like
maybe dog bite injury, babe.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. Here we go. There's literally two, and then a bunch of pictures of a German Shepherd biting. There's some bruising. I mean, no, not really, but could it be the claws? I don't know. It doesn't look like a tail light, because it
doesn't. It doesn't.
And how would it be like that far up his arm? I don't know.
Listen, I don't know what it is. I'll tell you, the only thing I can say is that it does not look like what I would expect to see from a being hit by a car. That's all.
Yeah, me neither. I wish that they had pictures of like a police dog that had attacked somebody and what that looked like. Because that's kind of one of the theories that I think the defense is throwing out based on their opening statements. That's what I took from it. Do you think so?
Yeah, I thought that's what they were going to say too.
Like this one kind of looks like it could be similar a little bit. This is that one that was the first one, but the rest, no, not really. I'm not sure. I'm not sure either.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
Let's see what the poll says. Hold on. So we have, oh, Music City Mom, thank you for gifting. Wow, 92% no, not from a car accident. I mean, how big even is her tail light? And
I mean, they showed the vehicle today. It's not that big. I mean, it's not.
I didn't see it when they showed it, but I was listening a lot of the time and not watching. But also, what about the broken? Like, how big is the broken section of the tail light?
But how would it? It would almost be like she would have to back up into his arm to get the taillight to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like he would have had to come into contact right there with the arm, which it looks, I don't know. It just looks weird. I don't know.
Lisa says, I wish I could show you the pictures of my brother-in-law's arm when a police dog got a hold of him. Exactly the same look. If you can find those, you should email them to one of us, because I would like to see that. If a dog was jumping up and biting, that's where the nips and bites would be. I'm having a difficult time getting over the test that guy did of trying to go backwards at 20 miles per hour on that road. Oh, I don't think I know about that. It is puzzling, Amber. Amber's live about this tonight at 9.
Mm-hmm. Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, because we have our live.
Well, then maybe we should put it off.
I totally forgot about ours.
Yeah, because ATS doesn't go live that much. So we will figure out, we'll do some rescheduling.
Or we could do it at like 8 if you wanted, or earlier. It's
but I don't think an hour is going to be enough to go over the rest of Heather Daybell's testimony plus Chad's mom.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
so we'll just wait. Maybe we'll do like a super. Maybe Saturday, like we can do a Saturday or Sunday, maybe whenever we decide. We're working out how to do the videos and the calls, but I was thinking maybe we could do a panel and have it like a super sábado gigante, like a big, huge Saturday thing, and just mention it all, get all the way caught up.
We could do that and do it like all day. I need to be here anyways, looking for UPS to drop something off, I believe. Because they were supposed to come today. I don't know though yet if it'll be like tomorrow or Monday. I need to figure that out. But okay, well, are you sure? Because
yes, because ATS does not go live. I know I don't have to do that, Amber babe, but you don't go live that often, and I would like to be there to support you. You're very good about coming in and supporting Allie when she's live, and me when I'm live, and us when we're live together. And I would like to be able to give back, and that's just my only small little thing I can do.
Well, that'll be good then. We can go watch her and listen, because I'm interested in her opinion. And I was going to say after that was, know that Dietz is doing like every few days her roundup, but after we get a little further along, I'd like to have them on. Lynn from Disorder in the Court, which let me drop all their links, and really hear people's opinions that know it a little too.
Yes, and Dr. B.
Yes,
you got to have her up again.
Okay, let's see what else I've got here. Put it up, then take it down. This was when the family, oh God, them having to see this, it's just tough, man. It's horrible and sad. Then we have Daniel Whitley. He's another paramedic firefighter. He talks more about Kieran's reaction and her making statements that she doesn't want to live anymore. He says that, her reaction was normal. It was normal grieving. Now, this is something Dietz mentioned a minute ago, and this kind of was talked about with him is really when I grasp it, at least. Them wanting to put her in, what do they call it? Like a
section?
Yeah. Yes, because of her mental health. And he said, no, because the statements that she was making were normal. This is what you hear, from people who have just found their loved one like this.
Yeah. I mean,
He did say, though, that he went from going from crying to perking up, crying about taking care of the kids, that she can't do it. They're not my kids and they're not his kids. Now, this is interesting, and I clipped part of this. So Carrie Roberts, which is the wife, the person who lives in the home, she was out there with Karen and McCabe. He says to her when he claims that Karen was going, I can't do it. I can't take care of these kids. They're not even my kids. They're not even his kids. What am I going to do? I don't even want to live anymore. And he said, Karen, you have a good support system. And apparently she says back, anyone who knows Carrie Roberts wouldn't say that. Meaning, like, it's the way I understood it was that she was saying she's not a good support system. And that's also the way, like, because I was still watching Melanie Little at that point, and that's what either her or Emily, one of them said, Emily Baker, which they're both attorneys, they both took it that way too.
Huh.
Let me play the clip. I'll show you.
Okay.
Because yeah, I think I got it here. Let me just play it and then I'll tell you.
Okay. Curious.
She said, she asked me if I knew Carrie Roberts. I said I did. She said anybody who knows Carrie Roberts wouldn't say those things. And that kind of took me aback a bit. It seemed strange to say something like that after you were just crying because your husband was dead.
Okay.
What does that mean about Carrie Roberts? And this guy knows Carrie. Carrie lives around the corner from him, and he's the one who lived across the street from John, who looked up to John.
I mean, maybe from
or is it this guy? Because it might be this guy. Because my notes are a little confusing right here. Because I'm going to. But
maybe she didn't feel like Carrie would be a good support system. Look, when you're under a tremendous amount of emotional distress, and I would say even if she did what they are accusing her of doing, she's still under emotional stress. She's not a sociopath. But you say things, and some people don't have a good filter anyway, and they just say whatever the heck comes in their brain and right out of their mouth. Letitia, we're all looking at you. And then there are people who I did not. I mean, I cried a little bit at the actual service for my mom, but it wasn't until the next day when I was by myself. There weren't a bunch of people there. It was just me in my garage, me and my SIGs. And I just bawled my eyes out. Everybody handles it differently. And I just feel like neither way, my way isn't wrong and Karen's way isn't wrong. Some people internalize and they're quiet about it. And then some people are very emotional and,
And plus, like, even if she did do it, let's just say she was guilty as can be. Because I don't know either way.
Right.
But couldn't she fake her reaction? I don't know. It's just, I wish we weren't focusing so much because the next guy's going to also talk about it. I understand why they are.
Yeah.
But
I just am not moved really by things that are said in a time of tremendous stress. Even with Chad. See, the reason that Chad the reason I be side-eyeing the things that he said during that 911 call is because everybody that knew Chad said that he was not a reactor. Now, I don't know if the one thing that would get that man to react would be Tammy Daybell's death. I don't know. But it's just something that I made a note of. It doesn't convince me that he's guilty or not guilty. It's just something that I made a mental note of. The truth of the matter is the fact that he's, that the autopsy revealed that she died of asphyxiation is what tells me that, who else would do it? Who else had a motive?
Right to bring that up because I remember them saying that, like the paramedics in Lori's trial, saying that his reaction at the time when they came, he was all upset and crying and stuff, and they believed him at the time.
Yes.
They just thought he was just grieving.
Yes.
He
But
said
then-
also that, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, it's okay. I'll remember.
I was just going to point out her comment on the screen so I won't forget it. She said the defense was very adamant objecting through the Carrie Roberts stuff. She's not, the support system situation. She said that tells me a lot. That has me going, because they haven't been adamant on a lot of objections. All right, let's see here. YT3 says, I disagree. I believe many people are more truthful when their guard is down, when they're under stress. I mean, I'm sure that some people are, but you can't really say either way about everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Right. And some people, there are people who are just very stoic and don't, even under times of duress, are private in their grief. I'm one of those people.
Yep.
I know, I'm speaking from experience. So I'm not really moved one way or the other about what they call excited utterances.
I know
you said many. I know, YT3. I'm just saying, I don't know what people would do. And for me personally, I try those things don't move me. What they said, like if they were to tell a story about what happened and then the autopsy is performed and all of that, that's when I care what they said. Whether their story matches what the evidence is, I'm not a big person who's like, well, I wouldn't say that, or I wouldn't do that, or that's weird how they're reacting. I don't know. Because you never know how people are going to react under stress. So I never really take it one way or the other.
I agree. And everybody's different. And YT3, I agree with you that would probably be the case for many people, but not everybody. Hey, Crystal. Amber says, I don't think people are more truthful in stress because your brain isn't thinking straight. I mean, they took her to the hospital. She was clearly not thinking right at the time, in my opinion. Okay, so then we go on to this fella, Jason Becker. He's also paramedic, firefighter. And we get into more about these self-harm statements. I did not know if I put stars on the outside of my words, it would make it bold like this in Messenger. But
look, fancy. That's a new trick. That way, when I'm really serious about something that I'm telling you, now I know to use the asterisks.
Yes,
so exactly. I ain't playing. And I don't even have to bust a caps lock. This is perfect.
Exactly. Well, my point, the reason I wrote even this was to say Melanie kept having to rewind to be able to follow along. She was having a really hard time following the prosecutor, which I can understand why. It's not the easiest, but anyway, so then, I was going to say I wrote jury here, but I remember why. Because I wanted to say, imagine how the jury feels. Because they are like us. They don't know anything prior. It's hard for me to keep up. I'm trying. I took notes and then when I was driving and stuff, I did my notes like this so I would remember little things. But at the end of the day, imagine how they must feel right now. All of this and the back and forth and this circular freaking testimony that they can,
I wonder, though, Allie, if it's different for them because there isn't anything else to really focus on. Like around here, I have my cuddle buddies, Alice, Mac, and Nestor, who, they're always, looking like whole snacks all the day, and I can be sitting and watching and look over and be like, oh my God, I need to pet them. Right. And I can get distracted by that. I also can get distracted by actually paying attention, and then I'll have some rogue thought come in my brain. Usually it's some type of song, and I'll be like, oh, I haven't heard that song in a while, and here I go on my phone, and then before you know it, I'm down a whole rabbit hole. So I feel like if I had to, yes, Alice the Savage Cuddles, but don't tell her I told you. She got a reputation like her mama. She's a thug. But I wonder if I were in a courtroom and had no choice but to sit and pay attention, if I would be able to do it. I feel like I would if I had no choice.
Here's the thing though, because yes, I agree with you 1,000%. You're right. Like even today, I was driving to get Bentley from school as I'm listening in the car and things like that and watching, you're watching the road because you're driving and just listening. But
Oh, I would hope you're watching the road while you're driving, babe.
but also I'm rewinding and listening for a second
Yeah.
time. I've done that multiple times and they don't have the ability to do that. So, I mean, I think there's give and take on both sides. I still think even in a quiet room, like being able to really take it all in, they have to be like, oh my gosh, because it's just been a lot. And there's so many players. And because of the way the opening statements were done, throwing out every single person in the, in it, it's confusing, in my opinion. It has been for me. So I just think it's interesting to think what they must be thinking right now.
I would like to know what they're thinking too. I really would. I really would. I hope when it's all said and done, they decide to give an interview.
I do too. I love when we hear interviews from the jury. Teacup, I fell asleep a couple times yesterday during listening to the prosecutor. So,
oh my God, why is that so funny to me? You guys are funny. I feel like I might be nodding out a little if I were a jury. Like, oh God, okay, I'm awake. I'm just kidding. Maybe that's why they keep the courtroom so cold.
Yeah, that's probably a good way. Hey, malicious intent. Good to see you. Let me share Mal's link too. Mal has an excellent channel. I love Mal. She has a huge heart. She, I think that she cares about the cases she covers. So let me just share her channel. Okay. Sorry, Bendy. If they are saying those injuries are from getting hit by a car, then I want them to do a sublimation on it. What does that mean?
Sublimation? I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Oh, sublimation.
That sounds like some type of medical procedure. Let me hit up the Googles. Let me see.
One sec, you guys.
That can't be right. Well, it says, what does sublimation mean? Sublimation in physics. I feel like that's not right.
Okay, let me see. Maybe she will tell us.
It's between a solid and a gas phases of matter with no intermediate liquid stage.
I don't think that's what she means.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. That feels wrong.
Meg said, I call the prosecutor Lally McBeal. Simulation? I bet that's what she meant. Duh.
Yes, that makes much more sense. Here, Allie, let me Google, and then we bust out physics and yanks on bikes. I mean, I remember being in high school taking chemistry, and every day all I wanted to do was catch stuff on fire. And I would ask my chemistry teacher, is today the day we get to put stuff on fire? And he'd be like, no. And stop asking. You're never going to get to put stuff on fire, because I think it would just be too fun for you.
Like Pointer Lover, she also loves that, which I don't know where she's not getting notified. I know that. And she's not. Remember, we were just talking about.
Oh, yes, because I was asking about her.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Alaskan Amber. Okay. So then, they get into this with this fella, Jason Becker.
This fella, huh?
Yeah. He says, he claims that she asked, remember where I said her asking about hitting him, that would come in later. So when he's on the stand, he says that she was saying, is he dead? Could he be dead, over and over? But she also said, could I have hit him? And there was a funny moment because somebody I think the prosecutor, or no, it was the defense, asked about her demeanor. And he's like, what demeanor? Like, what do you mean? He didn't know what demeanor meant.
Oh, God love him.
But then apparently he says that he says that he asked Karen if she had any drugs or alcohol, and she said no. Well, the defense came on and, asked, well, did you specify when did she have drugs or alcohol? This was a big moment of like contention, because he's like, no, I didn't, because when I ask, have you had any drugs or alcohol, hey Shane, I'm usually referring to, have you had any drugs or alcohol, in this situation that we're in. Like, not did you have drugs or alcohol last week, but for whatever we're there for. Like, I knew what he meant, but the defense was really picking at him. And he's like, well, it was 6:42 a.m. And the defense said, eventually, didn't she tell you she had drank last night? Because remember, she has that charge where I guess from taking her blood at the hospital, she had that, one of her charges has to do with the alcohol in her system and the level, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I'll look it up because I wrote it down. I wrote her charges down. Un momentito. Let me look.
Okay. I didn't get notified either. I just noticed it was almost 7. Oh, Crystal, I'm sorry. Yeah, YouTube, get it together. Stop not notifying people, man.
I don't know what it is. Because the way I have it written down is her initial charges were manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide, and leaving the scene of a motor vehicle homicide. And then they upgraded the charges to second-degree murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene.
Wait, okay.
So I'm wondering if the motor vehicle homicide is what happened, is the charge that goes with drinking. I don't know.
Dietz, are you still here? Because I know Dietz is like a wealth of knowledge on this case.
Yeah.
I hope the family can avoid seeing these. No, they were there, Natasha, and looking right at them. This was the only one. Now, I hope when they show him, I don't know about the other ones. I haven't seen like you can kind of see his body, but not really in that picture, just his arm. And I wouldn't show the other ones on my channel, only just because it's just his arm, and I think that it is relevant to, it was shown in court today on the screen. Court TV even put it up. And I think that the injuries just don't match what they're claiming so much. You need to see them. I hadn't seen them before. They had been going around for a while, but Shmita said, this has been a really fast hour. I know. No notification. That's ridiculous.
You guys, check and make sure that your app is updated. Now, I will tell you this. I get notified much faster in a much more timely and consistent manner on an Android than I do on my iPhone. I've noticed that, and I know it's because iPhone is iPhone and Android uses Google, and who owns YouTube is YouTube and Google are buds. That's why we have to make a special link for memberships for the, because like I'll be in your chat right now, and I cannot join your membership. It's not even on your page for me.
Right. Yeah. It's weird with that phone, but I didn't think about that. You're so right with the Google and YouTube. Okay. So the last thing with the witnesses from today, and then we're pretty much done. I just wanted to ask you like a couple questions for your opinion, but the last thing like during trial that happened was the exhibits. So they decided to do the exhibits what Melanie or Emily, one of the attorneys I was watching, said the old-fashioned way, but regardless, they decided to change up the way they were doing mid-stream
Trial.
and renumber them. So it just caused a ton of confusion. It's just going to make things even more confusing and chaotic. So that was annoying. But
all I can think of is Mark Wahlberg from Ted. Why the fuck would he do that? Why would you do that?
Yes.
That's all I can think of. That's my response. Why the fuck would you do that?
Another thing that came out today when this guy was on the stand, hey, Olive Loaf, Karen has MS. I didn't know that before.
I didn't know that either. Wow.
So that's sad. And, he does go into, there's some testimony about what exactly that is or what he knows about that. It's just, kind of irrelevant to the situation. But, okay. So my main thing I just wanted to ask you was with all of this, because basically what we've heard about, we did hear some about his injuries from his brother and then some of the paramedics and stuff, but most of their testimony has kind of centered on and focused around her reaction. And I'm curious, just based on which we've already talked about, but one of the main things I wanted to talk to you about was, do you think there was real concern? Because for me, I could see there being real concern. I'm not sold either way yet. What about you?
Okay, yes, I do think that there was real concern. See, there's a difference between somebody who, let's say, Karen did what they're accusing her of doing, and that the motive was that John was going to break up with her, and she was of the mindset, if I can't have him, nobody can. That is a tremendous amount of feelings balled up right there. So when if you're that angry and hurt, it's all of the emotions like happening at once, to have the line of thinking that if you can't have them, then no one will, and like mean it permanently.
Yeah.
And do something about it. Okay. That's so, but it doesn't mean that they can't at the same time be crying about it, because they're clearly an emotional being. We all have emotions, but some people are just more
Yeah.
emotional than others. So I feel like the only time it would be an issue for me is if it is so over the top that and out of character for that person. This is why it's odd to me that Chad was so emotional over Tammy, because he's not an emotional person. And what that to me, I think that obviously Chad is capable of emotions, but what I think it is for him is he's like a person that's private about them. He keeps it inside and doesn't let it out in front of people. So the fact that he was so upset in front of all those people rings a little disingenuous, because it's out of character for him.
Right. I can
So
see that.
I think with Karen, she seems, and I'm not judging her for having arguments with her boyfriend. All couples fight. But when it gets to the level of people are noticing, and it's, loud and, all that stuff, in public, that tells me that she's like an emotionally reactive person. When she feels a certain type of way, she does not give a rat's fat kneecap where they are at, or whatever. She's going to get it off of her chest. Me, I'm a very private person. If I was upset with my husband about something that he did in public, I would never address it publicly. I would never do that. I would wait until we got home, and it has nothing to do with anything other than I know how I can be, and I will never give anybody the satisfaction of seeing me show my ass publicly. That's it. It's just like it's one of those weird things about me.
No, you have some self-awareness, and more people need to think like that and get
well, I'm one of those people that has a real phobia of being controlled, but I don't want to control other people. And I realize that when somebody can get to you with and make you feel some type of way and you react, they're the ones in control of you, not you. And I hate that shit. So,
Yeah.
that's just me. But well, if I was to show my ass, yes, I'm not into just public humiliation. Now, I mean, I'm sure that there's caveats to that have never happened, and so I don't know how I would react in that situation. But I think for Karen, to me it seems, oh Jesus fuck.
I'm sorry.
I just think Karen seems like she's an emotional gal, and that's not a bad thing. And that she showed everything she was feeling, she showed it loud and proud, even that night and early morning, I should say, really the early morning. So I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest.
Okay. Well, that's about where I'm at too. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm ready to hear more from this Proctor guy,
Yeah.
the McCabe's. There's other witnesses I'm looking forward to. I'm sad to hear about her MS diagnosis. I think that, I did that little evil eye she gave that girl. I can't get over that. I don't know why, but that was just like, ooh.
Where she just squinted like, did you just, girl?
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that's all for the Karen Reed stuff. Anybody who was here for that. But before we go,
and on to a new train wreck and dumpster fire, Gypsy fucking Rose.
Yeah, I needed. Oh, thank you, Aries. I needed to show you this and ask you about this. So she is touring Hollywood You know, she wants to be. I think she sees herself as a superstar.
Oh,
I really
yes. Oh, yes. Yes. See,
Here, we can hear
just
what she
like
said.
her mother and her mother exploited her made up ass illnesses, right? Gypsy's exploiting her own self at this point. She's exploiting her whole story. It's disgust. I have zero patience for this heffalump. I really do. I do. Uh-oh, what happened?
Nothing. I just muted
Okay.
for a second because the kids were walking past me. But okay, let's listen to it. So I don't know what she says. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so back in
Okay,
January when I was in New York, Joe had DM'd me and was like, "Hey, I'm having a party tonight. Do you want to come out?" And I was like, "Unfortunately, I can't make it because I went back to Louisiana. I'm home now, but in the future, sure."
That's so nice. And so, what did he give you like any encouragement or?
No, I mean it was just inviting me to the party, but I've had a lot of other people give me encouraging words.
Okay, who are your top two?
My top two. Goodness. I don't think I'm at liberty to discuss one of them.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay.
But she would have to be my number one. But y'all find that out. And then I guess I would say Elizabeth Smart. Like she
Yes.
and I.
So apparently she's got something she's doing with some kind of celebrity because she's not at liberty to discuss that, but we'll find out later. Or somebody.
Had a lot of things that we've been through. So she gives me a lot of like encouragement.
Yeah,
and
stop
advice.
right there. Please stop right there.
that's
Gypsy, I'm about to give you the what for, ma'am.
Give it to her, Jen.
I need you to stop right the fuck now. Elizabeth Smart is a victim, okay? In a way that you will never be. You cannot identify with her. You need to stop right the fuck now, okay? What?
I'm going to share the video in the chat so people
This
can
is
watch.
why I don't fuck with this hoe, okay? Because do I think that Gypsy was a victim? Sure, okay? But to compare herself to Elizabeth Smart was rescued from her situation. She was scared to fuck. She was truly scared. She didn't get on the fucking internet and hire a hitman from Louisiana or from Wisconsin. This is why I can't with her. I'm so tired of her. We were never, we were just friends. What the really? Yes, because I hold, Dr. B was here recently, and when we went to Aldi, that's exactly how we walked in the grocery store. Arm in arm, hands all, we looked like a whole ass couple, but nah, we just friends. Shut up, Gypsy. See, this is why I can't take her ass, man. And that hair is not a good hairstyle for you.
Steph B. Jen Lou is spicy tonight. She is. I love it. But I agree with you. She has some nerve comparing herself to Elizabeth Smart. She was raped over and over, forced to have children, all kinds of stuff. And she didn't
No,
kill
that
any-
was not Elizabeth Smart was raped, but not had children.
She
You're
didn't have the
thinking
kids. Was that JC Dugard?
JC Dugard, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because Elizabeth Smart was with the man and wife, right? And
Yes.
they never had any kids?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, regardless, still she was essayed
exactly.
over
Yeah,
and didn't kill anybody.
She was
So-
kidnapped. She was kidnapped and she was kept, in a tent and living with a pedophile. I mean, that's the facts. And, it wasn't just, she got beat and her story was horrible. He snatched her out of her bed in the middle of the night. And it was somebody he worked at her parents' home. And
That's so scary.
It's disgusting. And Gypsy, you didn't rescue yourself. See, that's the thing. Elizabeth Smart and JC Dugard did what they had to do in order to survive.
Yeah.
But when there was an opportunity that they could trust, they took it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, no, ma'am, no. They weren't free to get on the internet and find a fucking hitman and pay for him to come all the way from Wisconsin to Missouri, which I know it's not that far, but you take my meaning, okay? Stealing, $1,000 here and $800 there, and having Make-A-Wish and going, and I went to Pottermore and shut the fuck up, Gypsy. Work on you. Stop worrying about your nose. Stop worrying about your hair color and work on your insides.
Yeah, and you guys, Jen knows so much about this case and this, like I don't know much about it, only what I've learned from Jen and really seen like recently since her release. I will say, she looks nice, whatever, who cares? That's not important. Um, I think that people are kind of making a mistake lifting her up. Not that she shouldn't be lifted up. I think everybody should to a degree, but not people who are still not even truly holding themselves accountable or being held, even just saying it the way she describes it.
Yeah.
She needs, yeah. So I'm with you. But I saw today, I was watching today on The View. They had like a 3-minute conversation about her, and it was a YouTube video that I was recommended, so I watched it, which I watch The View all the time. But so they were talking about Gypsy, and Sunny was like, Sunny, this one lady was saying, you murdered your mother, like you should not be a superstar. And the other person on the panel was like, but she was so abused. People really feel like some people just see it totally different. It's really weird.
It's, to that end, look, her attorney was incredibly savvy and incredibly smart, and I have to hand it to him. He was young enough to understand and appreciate what the media can do. And what he realized is, like I said in that documentary, it's better to be the right hand of the devil than in its path. So he decided to work with the media. That Mommy Dead and Dearest, I don't think many people know this, the timing of all of this. It came out, yes, after her plea deal, but it was filmed before and during the time that she got the plea deal. So all of it, that the whole narrative, and there is an element of abuse there, but it isn't it's not the way that it's been portrayed.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't saying that she was.
No, I know. I have to say it because other people will come at me and be like, but she was abused. So it's for me to clarify, not because of anything you said.
Right. Well, even look at Mayla's mom. See, it's just so bizarre to me how people, which it's like this with everything. It's very bizarre in a good way. It's interesting how people can come to such different conclusions on the same stuff. And I love that. I'm glad that you shared, Mayla's mom, your opinion, because I want you guys to feel free to do that. She says, I love her. I'm so glad she's free and doing everything she wants. And there are some people who really, 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 with all their heart, just, and I want the best for her too, but they don't see the side of her as being the manipulator too. After talking to Jen, I was like that more before, but after Jen kind of explained to me the different things she was in on, and like knowing that she could walk, but yet pretending she could, just some of the, I don't know. I see it
I have a lot of questions about what the level of abuse was between between 2011 and 2015, when the murder actually occurred, because it is evidenced from the other Facebook account that they had together that Dee Dee was very, very ill, especially in 2015. And it's just my personal opinion that whatever the truth is, and I don't think we've heard it all the way yet from anybody really, regarding Dan and that running away story. I think that when that happened, I think something changed in the dynamic between the two of them. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but what I will say is, I don't think that I would feel differently. No, she's not at fault no, she's not. It's not her fault that, but that she got the deal that she got. But it is her fault that now that she's out, she refuses to take accountability, full accountability.
Yeah.
Full. And and what I'm telling, I'm sorry, Allie, just one last thing, and then I'm going to be done with it. What I will say is, we haven't seen everything. What we saw is only the evidence that was necessary to convict Nick. And even that evidence has a touch of Gypsy's manipulation in it. I wonder how people would feel if they were, if this case became like the West Memphis 3 case, where all of the investigation, every piece of evidence that was collected, all of the interviews was available for us to peruse and look at, and then make a determination. See, it's very, I'm the reason I am hard on Gypsy is not for what she did then, but what she's doing now. That's what irritates me.
Well, for me, and I know this is not her fault, but I can't help it. The fact that Nick is going to be in, and I'm curious how you feel about that, Mayla's mom, just knowing what you do, like as your job and stuff. The fact that he's special needs and isn't, I don't know. It bothers me that he's going to spend his life in prison forever. And she's not. I know that's not her fault, but he was trying to basically, save her in a way. And I don't know. I just can't. I can't. I have sympathy for him. I can't help it. Even though, there are a lot of things that I learned about him, especially on your little interview, that were not the nicest and things I didn't know before. But
I mean,
still can't help it.
Yeah, I just feel like I would like to see all of the evidence. And I know that Gypsy has it. She has her discovery file. So just put it out, Gypsy. If everything is like you, and I'm not talking about your medical records. We don't need to see any of that shit. Just put out the part about, just put out your discovery. Everything from that investigation. Put out all the texts between you and Nick and other people. Put out all the emails. Put out all of the things, all of it, including the fraud investigation. Put it all out. What can happen? Nothing. You can't do any more time, and there will always be people who will see you and say, well, her mom did this and her mom did that. That's okay. I just want to see all of it. Just put it out. Let me see all of it. That's it. Then I can make an informed decision.
Mayla's mom says, you don't want to hear my opinion on it because I've read his report and believe he's very much like my 15-year-old who would know that it's wrong.
It's not about him knowing it was, he did know it was wrong. He's the only one that was remorseful and felt guilt. It wasn't about, okay, this is where it is. It's a very abstract legal concept. It's not about knowing right from wrong. Nick knew what he was doing was wrong. It was about, did he have due to his autism being on the spectrum, was he able to perform the necessary deliberation under the law? Not about knowing right from wrong, but did he understand exactly what it was that he was doing, the long range, consequences of his behavior, and did he fully understand that there was a different way? That's the argument. He knows right from wrong.
Interesting. Oh wow, I love the I like the friendly debate though. Mayla's mom did send me a picture of a dog bite, and it's got longer. It's pretty graphic though. I don't know if I should show it, but it does have longer. It looks more similar to that one.
Okay.
Or not to that one, but to Officer O'Keefe's injuries.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll send it to you though privately and show you.
Okay.
But
are we allowed to consider that evidence?
No,
Would we be breaking our oath? Well, listen,
we're not really supposed to even look at them.
Well, by virtue of us talking about it, really, about what we've seen so far, that's one of the very first rules they tell you as a juror that you're not supposed to be doing, and yet here we are. So, and Mayla, I hope I feel like I don't want you to take it like I'm coming at you, because I'm not. I respect you and I respect your opinion. And I feel like it's at a disadvantage because I have the ability to be up here and get all the words out, and you're limited to 150 characters. And I don't like that. I don't think it's fair, but I do. And I see your comment now. We don't. We
Yeah.
don't agree on this subject, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
feel
how
like
you learn this stuff.
it is, and I feel like I am not 100% right, and I don't think Mayla is 100% wrong, nor do I think I'm 100% wrong, and Mayla's mom is 100% right. I would bet money that it is a combination of what we both think, and that is probably the truth. That's probably the truth of the
Yeah.
situation, because like I said, people change, and we're all the things. So yeah.
And the last thing I will read Nay's opinion, just because a couple people agreed in the chat, and I just think it's interesting to hear all thoughts, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Nay says, I believe that he believes he was saving her, and I believe she took total advantage of that. But the only thing I feel bad for him was the fact that she so easily threw him under the bus, and I don't know where to go. And he's now the only one suffering the bulk of the consequence for it.
Yes,
And I agree.
I agree. And I worry for him, because let's say that his appeal
Love you,
continues.
Mom.
Aw, I love you too, Mayla's mom. What I'm worried about for Nick is, let's say that his appeal is successful. All right. And he is granted a new trial. And let's say that this time he gets basically, something similar to Gypsy, right? But maybe a little bit longer. But because he's had good behavior, now he's almost immediately eligible for parole, and and it's granted. He's had zero help in prison. Something is wrong in that. Something is wrong in Nick and his way of thinking, and he does need to be rehabilitated, in my opinion. But he's not getting it in prison, and we're going to put him back out on the streets. And that's where I'm scared. That's what concerns me.
Yeah. He's definitely dangerous. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Nay,
Yeah.
is Jen's new wax melt on your site? Because I'm looking and I want to buy it. It sounds freaking delicious. I have a candle I ordered that is going to be here on Wednesday that would go so good with it. It's like cherry pineapple. It's one of those that looks like a real
Ooh.
dessert or whatever, and it looks like it's going to be nice. So
Hey, Nay, I've can I request another scent? And this is not even a song, so I know it doesn't really go with music melts, but I was thinking, I made a comment, and I think it was in the Good Nenya's chat the other night, and and what I said was, if it was me, I would be ending bloodlines and making candles out of their tears. So I was wondering if we could have a wax melt that was the tears of my enemies. I don't know what that would smell like rain or something, maybe a little, something salty.
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Found it. I am ordering now. I cannot wait. That sounds so awesome, because pineapple is one of my favorite.
I love pineapple. I do too.
All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you all for being here and listening and joining the conversations and sharing all of your opinions, because I love all of them. I really do. And you guys make me change my mind about shit. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So, Mayla's mom says we should definitely discuss Delphi soon. No one has ever made me feel bad for having a different opinion. That is so amazing. And I love that too. And Delphi, I have
so many opinions on Delphi.
Mine are pretty fringe. They're not, hey, well, Sparkles, hadn't seen, I know you were in here a little bit ago, but I hadn't seen you for a minute. But that's coming up, Jen. His trial is, when does it start? I know it's very soon, but I don't know.
Google. I have to Google. I can't remember, but I have so many opinions on that, and I'm not exactly sure that my opinions, I think I'm now in the small majority.
I do too, with mine. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We should talk about it one day, though.
We should.
Interested.
We should.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Bendy, for being here. I'm sorry that I forgot about even our live tonight. I would have been there, but just
of course.
And
let's all go over and support ATS.
I agree. Well, right before the live, I saw that she had a Karen Reed thing scheduled, and it caught my attention. So let me share her link, you guys. If you haven't checked out Amber, please go check out her channel. I think that you would really like it if you like this one. So we talk about similar cases and stuff. But anyways, all right. I think that's all. I could sit here and say goodbye for a long time, but I'm not going to do that. So
I
have a
just
good
saw
night.
something.
Okay.
But after it's that Chad Doberman waived his right to a speedy trial.
I saw that too just now when I was scrolling through YouTube.
Mm-mm.
I wonder how long it's going to take now. I don't know. But anyways,
Bye,
all right.
Heather.
Yeah. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, thanks for everything. And I'm definitely going to be checking out Amber later, checking out Deets. Melissa's not on tonight. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in some of those chats, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Kate the Great. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.